Hello everyone, so in this video I will be talking about like you in general. I'm not gonna be talking about like others. I'm just gonna be talking you in general while I wash the dishes. So if you hear water, then I'm just washing my dishes. So I would say being a good person, because in, in sure, it matters how others act like and how it'll affect you, but most importantly, it will affect on, first of all, like, before I even say anything about others, you gotta take care of yourself. Because if you're trying to say here, oh, but she did this, but she did that, just because she did or he did or something doesn't mean you have to do it. Like, she cussed, so I'm a cuss. How come you didn't say nothing to her, but when I do it, you do, like, you start to pay attention? Like, no, it doesn't matter on how other people act. If you know it shouldn't be done, then step up, do the right thing, and you can simply just not do it, or just say, hey, she's doing something she's not supposed to do. Because I feel like many times people be like, oh, that's snitching, or you're just being a bad friend and you're snitching on me. But if you know it's not the right thing, then just like don't be afraid to like genuinely like do it. And sure, it might end a relationship, but at the end of the day, what's better? You getting caught doing something bad, or letting something bad slide, like, or you just need a friendship. Just like Jesus says that, like, you just because you believe in Jesus, you might lose some relationships with your friends. Because us as Christians, or as Catholic, or if you just even believe in Jesus, we want others to know about what he did for us. And he says you will lose friendships because of me. So if you're like afraid to like lose a friend, then you gotta step up. But I also want you to understand that just be a good person in general. I know now a lot of times it's hard to surround ourselves in a good environment due to that people be doing bad stuff. People go behind the teacher's back. Um, one of your work one of your like workers did something bad, or one of like just someone in your environment, in your community, due to your work, due to your school, due to just in general, did something bad. Now, just because we're like, oh, well, they're a bunch of bad stuff, I mean, I might as well be one. Because I feel like many times we just give up. Because saying, why am I going to be good if they're all acting like that? Or when we just try to fit in general and we doubt ourselves because we're not like others. And understanding yourself is like the key to general life. Because if you can't understand yourself, then you just can't understand others. Once you learn to understand and love yourself and be yourself, then you'll genuinely understand life, and you'll genuinely understand others, and you genuinely do it. Now, I really love to use this phrase because it's like a genuine phrase, but treat others how you want to be treated. I know a lot of times we don't do this and we complain about it. For example, I cursed at him and then I want him to treat me nicely. Why would he or she have the audacity to treat me nicely if I literally just called him a bad word? And this is where we need to reflect and see ourselves for who we are and what our actions do. Because I know dang well that we're not all good. We're not all goody two shoes. Now, nor should we act like we didn't do nothing. I know it's hard to like admit that we did something bad and that we should not be doing that, but that's the truth. We have to learn how to take the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts, but we have to learn how to understand that we just genuinely have to learn how to understand our actions and what it's gonna lead to. And the best you could do is just pray about it. You know, like one time I got in this big situation, and genuinely I was just like, but then it got me in trouble. So like I knew I didn't do the right thing. And as long as you're admitting it, then like that's good. Because you're not gonna be like, no, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Like you're already in trouble. What's the point of just saying that line even more? And it hurt. It does hurt admitting that you do bad things. Because no one wants to be the person that gets in trouble. But if you don't want to get in trouble, then just generally don't do stuff like that. And now, I know when it comes to like being bad and doing all these stuff, but if you like, I'm generally just posting this video because I want to be sincere, and I want us to, not just me, because I want to lock in this 2026, and I want you to lock in, not just to see it as some normal year. I want you to have an experience and to be a better life and to get more connection with Jesus. Because a person that is never wrong is never right. Because even though you say, but I'm right, you're not always going to be right. And it's okay not to be right. But when you're saying, like, for example, oh, but the blue car is Jennifer's. No, the red car was Jennifer's. But I'm saying, oh, but I'm still right. No, you're wrong. Just admit it. Sometimes admitting can be the easiest thing, yet the hardest thing. Because if you admit it, that you're wrong, then it's just easily gonna end the conversation. Yet admitting you are wrong is gonna be the hardest thing, because then you're just gonna look like some dumb frick. So that's why I want you to look towards your actions. When someone's being mean to you, I just don't want you to say, oh, they're being mean to me, or they're doing this. I want you to understand, why do you think they're gonna mean for you? Take a second to look back at yourself and realize that why are they being mean to me? Because I'm not gonna say no one's gonna come up to being mean to you. Sometimes people are just really mean in general, and they're gonna be mean to you. But if you done something mean to them, it's most likely they're gonna be mean to you. And I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, that person's so rude. Yeah, I want you to understand, did you do something wrong, or is it just them? Because once you learn how to understand yourself and your actions and how your actions act on, then you'll understand why certain things are happening. For example, if you study for a test and you get a good grade, then that's a good action, or that's a good consequence. But if you did not study and just watch TikTok, then you're going to learn that the consequence was getting a bad grade. So please don't just try to argue it. I know many times we're in situations where we just want to blame the other person, we just want to fight, and then we feel like, oh, but remember that one time? No. Why should we fight against one another? Jesus says that we are brothers and sisters. So why should you fight with someone when they're just like your brother? And I know siblings still do have arguments and all this, but my thing is to say to you, take time, be patient. If someone's not listening to you, then let them not listen to you. Use the words please, or not just get over here, or you're not doing it right, or yeah, that's what I thought. No. If you want to be treated good, then you should treat people good. There's no reason to get pissed off at a person when they just don't want to do it. Because I know that might seem bad, because why don't you just want to do it? You never know why someone doesn't want to do a certain thing. Maybe they just don't want to obey you. And that might sound like, oh, but then you're just being rude because you want to obey me. Sure, that can be true, but also, for example, maybe that person has been getting too much orders and they're tired of getting bossed, and when they come to school, they're getting the same thing and they don't want that. So I want you guys to understand your bad actions. And I know it might sound bad, but not just your bad actions, but your good actions. I want you to say, if I do this, how will it impact others? Or I want to see why others are good. Or if I do these bad stuff, or I did this bad stuff, how did it affect the others? Why are others being bad? Because it's 2026 and I feel like the world can all come together soon one day and we can all live happily ever after. Now that might sound crazy, but if we learn to love one another and to love ourselves, then I feel like we can just have a brighter future. Goodbye.